Okay, we're going to look at adding and subtracting fractions by using what I call the traditional method. Now, we'll be following some steps, and you may want to pause the video and write these steps down because these will be very helpful. Let me go over the steps with you first. You'll look in the center of the paper. Number 1 says, get like denominators. If little goes into big, keep big. I'll explain that more in a few minutes. Or another way to get like denominators is we're going to use a T-chart to find the least common denominator. So those are 2 ways we can get like denominators. Number 2 says we're going to divide down and multiply up. Number 3, solve. Number 4, we're going to ask ourselves, is this an improper fraction? And if it is, you know we have to fix it by dividing. And then number 5, of course, is the fraction in simplest form. So let's start with number 1, and I will try to keep these steps visible so that you'll see what I'm looking at. So number 1, we've got to add 1/8 plus 1/4. Write this problem on your paper. If you need to pause to give yourself time, feel free to do so. And at any time in this video, I'm going too fast and you need to catch up, just pause. Okay, so the first thing it tells me to do to get like denominators, there are 2 ways I can do that. It says if little goes into big, keep big. Let me show you what that means. Look at our denominators. 4 is the little number, 8 is the big number. Will 4 go into 8? Yes, it will. So since 4 will go into 8, we're going to keep the 8. See, it says if little goes into big, keep big. So I'm going to write a new fraction or set it up, and my new denominator is going to be 8. Second step says divide down, multiply up. 8 will go into 8 one time. 1 times 1 is 1. Look what I just did. Denominator into denominator. I said 8 will go into 8 one time, and I put a little 1 there so I don't forget it, and then multiply all the way up. 1 times 1 is 1, and I wrote it here. Watch me do this side. Divide down, 4 into 8, and then multiply up. 4 will go into 8. See, divide down. 2 times, multiply up. 2 times 1 is 2. Now it says solve. 3/8. Is it improper? No. If it was, we would have to divide and fix it. Number 5, we need to put it into simplest form. So I'll take my 3. It's prime, so I circle it. Remember, prime means that the only way you can get that number is to multiply 1 times that number. There's no other way to multiply and get 3. That's why I circled it. And then 8. 8, we can say 2 times 4. We'll circle the 2 because it is a prime number. We're circling all our primes. Remember, the only way I can get 2 is 1 times 2. But look at 4. 4, I can branch it because there's a way to get 4 other than 1 times 4. I can say 2 times 2, prime, prime. Now I've completed the prime factorization of 3 and the prime factorization of 8. Now I'm going to stack what I got in my groups. What I got circled for 3 is just 3. It goes on top. What I have circled for 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. Notice I don't have anything that matches the top and the bottom. Since I don't have a match, that means 3/8 is already in simplest form, and I'm going to circle it. All right, let's look at number 2. 5/6 minus a half. Okay, let me go ahead and set it up. I know I'll be getting like denominators because I don't have them. And remember, it said, if little goes into big, keep big. Well, Will 2 go into 6? Yes, so I'll keep 6. Now I'm going to divide down, multiply up. 6 will go into 6 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 will go into 6 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. Now we solve. 2 6. Is it improper? No. If there was a larger number on top, we'd have to divide, wouldn't we, and fix it. What we call, I do divide and rock around the clock. So number 5, is it in simplest form? Well, I don't know. Let me do my factor trees to see. I'll take my 2. Is there another way to get 2 besides 1 times 2? No. So 2 is prime. I circle it. I'm done with 2. Now I'll do 6. I can say 2 times 3 to get 6. 2 is prime. 3 is prime. Now I'll fix me a long line and put the numbers that I circled for 2 on top, which is 2. And the number, since 6 is my denominator, I put the numbers circled for 6 on bottom. Do I have a match on top and bottom? Yes, I do. So I cancel them out and I look at what's left. Notice on the top, I don't have anything left. When I don't have anything left behind, it's understood to be 1. Look on the bottom. The 3 is by itself. So I'll put a 3 there. There's my final answer, 1/3. You'll notice I'm circling my final answers. All right, let's look at number 3. Once again, if I'm going a little fast, pause it and so you can catch up. I don't want to get too far ahead. I just didn't want to make a really long video for you to have to go through. Okay, let's go ahead. We know we're going to have to rename these fractions. Now, to get a like denominator, it says if little goes into big, keep big. Well, will 6 go into 10? Not evenly, so we can't keep 10. Look at the other option. Use a T-chart to find the least common denominator. So I need to do a T-chart. Let me come down here. This is a T-chart, and I'll put 10 and 6 in the T-chart. Now, what I'm going to do when I do my T-chart, I'm going to count the multiples of these numbers. I'll count by 6 and I'll count by 10. So let me do a few of these 10s. 10, 20, 30. Now let me do 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Look. Do you see this number 30 right here? It matches on top and bottom. That means that is the lowest multiple that 10 and 6 have in common. So I'm going to use 30 as my new denominator. Now you might ask, well, I thought we could just multiply 6 times 10 and get 60 and use that. And you can. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm trying to help you learn to use the smallest number possible as a denominator, and that will help you or keep you from having to do so much work with the problem. So now we've got a denominator. Now let's divide down, multiply up. 10 will go into 30. 3 times 3 is 9. We're going to divide down, multiply up. 6 will go into 30. 5 times 4 is 20. Coming across. 20 plus 9 is 29. And then 30. Now, I can already tell you that this is in simplest form. And if you've been in my class over the last several days, you've learned that, because we learned that anytime you see a fraction and the numerator and the denominator are neighbors, just like 29 and 30, if I was counting, I'd say 29, then right after it is 30. It's already in simplest form. Some other options might be 5/6 or 2/3 or 10/11. Those numbers are neighbors. So that means it's already in simplest form. I don't have to waste time doing a factor tree. All right, let's come over to number 4. 2/3 minus 1/4. All right, let's say I need to get like denominators. Remember, we've learned 2 ways. If little goes into big, keep big. Will 3 go into 4? Not evenly. So I go to the next option. Use a T-chart to find the LCD, which is least common denominator. See, we're looking for what they have in common, the least common. Actually, what it's called here, since these are multiples, it's the least common multiple. And the minute I put it on the bottom, it becomes a denominator, a least common denominator. So let me come to a T-chart, and I'll put my 3 here and my 4 here. And let me do a few for 3. 3, 6, 9. And I'll do a few for 4. 4, 8, 12. I still don't see a match. Let me do some more for 3. 12, 15. Oh, I see a match. 12 and 12. So my new denominator, the least common multiple that they have, is 12. It's the least common number that they have that's in common with 3 and 4. So I'm going to use 12, and the minute I put it here, it becomes my least common denominator. Now, if we would have kept going, we'd see other numbers that 3 and 4 had in common. They also have the number 24 in common. But I don't want to use a number that's that high. I like to keep my denominator as low as possible. So we're going to now do number 2, divide down, multiply up. 3 will go into 12, 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Notice when I put this number, it's a little smaller. 4 going to 12, 3 times. See how tiny I write it? 3 times 1 is 3. Come across. 8 minus 3 is 5. Keep my 12. Now I need to make sure these are in simplest form. Let me do factor trees. I'll take my 5. We know that 5 is already prime. I'll take 12 and factor that out. 2 times 6. I could have used 3 times 4. It doesn't matter what we use when we're writing factors. I could have used 3 times 4. In the end, I'm going to get the same answer. 2 is prime. 6, let's do 2 times 3. Prime, prime. Now let me stack these. Remember, when you write them out, you want to do least to greatest and keep like numbers together. Now, do I have anything alike? No. So that means 5/12 is already in simplest form. All right, let's turn over. 2/5 plus 1/3. Here's our steps again. We know we've got to rename these fractions. If little goes into big, keep big. 3 won't go into 5 evenly, so I've got to do the next one. I've got to do a T-chart. 3 and 5. 3, 6, 9, 5, 10, 15. Any matches yet? Nope. So I'll do a few more for 3. See, 9, then 12, 15. Look, there's a match. There's the lowest multiple that 3 and 5 have in common. There's my least common multiple. Now I'll turn it into a denominator. So now it's a least common denominator. Now we're going to divide down, multiply up. 5 are going to 15, 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 are going to 15, 5 times. 5 times 1 is 5. Equals 11/15. It's not improper. Well, I've just solved it. It's not improper. So now I do simplest form. When I factor out 11, is there a way to get 11 other than 1 times 11? No, so we circle it. Let's come look at 15. The only way I can think of to get 15 is 3 times 5. Prime, prime. Let me draw my line. Let's put my numbers for 11 on top, my numbers for 15 on the bottom. Do I have a match? No, no match. So that means 11/15 is already in simplest form. All right, let's look at number 6. Go ahead and set it up. To get like denominators, will little go into big? Nope. So we've got to set up a T-chart. 2 and 3. I'll do a few for 2. Count by 2s. 2, 4, 6. Oh, I bet I know it now. 3, 6, right here. Here's my least common multiple. Put it here and it becomes my least common denominator. Now we're going to divide down, multiply up. 3 will go into 6, 2 times. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 will go into 6, 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. That's going to equal 5, 6. Hopefully you can recognize 5 and 6. These are neighbors. So I don't have to do a factor tree on it. It's already in simplest form. So I'm done with it. Okay, moving on to 7. Let me get it ready to rename. Will little go into big? Will 5 go into 10? It will. So I get to keep 10. I like getting to keep them. It makes it easier. Divide down, multiply up. 5 will go into 10. 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 10 will go into 10 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. My answer, 9/10. It's not improper. Is it in simplest form? Oh, yes, that one I can tell. You know why? The numbers are next door neighbors. So I'm going to circle. Now, if that had said 10/9, that's improper. I would have to fix that. All right, let's go to number 8. Go ahead and get this ready. Okay. Oh, look what I did. I'm losing my mind. Okay, sorry. Will little go into big? Yes, so we're going to keep big. Now we're going to do number 2. Divide down, multiply up. 8 will go into 8 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. 2 will go into 8 4 times. 4 times 1 is 4. That gives me 2/8. So now I'll take the 2, put it here. I got to factor it out. It's not improper, so I've got to see if it's in simplest form. 2's prime. Let's do 8. 2 times 4. 2 is prime. 4, 2 times 2. Prime, prime. Let me stack them. Strike through, remember, my matches. So on top, I'll come up here and put it. On top, you'll notice nothing got left behind. So remember, that's understood to be 1. On bottom, I see 2 2s. I've got to multiply them. 2 times 2 is 4. So my final answer is 1/4. Now, you may want to go back and rework some of these, rewrite them, and we rework them and check your answer. Let this be an answer key for you. If I can help you in any way, let me know. I hope this has been a helpful lesson for you. See you later.